What's up, guys? I'm here with Jacqueline and Zacharias from Zacharias Horsemanship, and we just finished recording a pretty cool video where we collaborated together into helping each other out with tapping into each of our industries. And Jacqueline specializes in ranch riding, and I specialize in reining, and these are two industries that I think are merging together, or it's very important to attempt to merge together, because they are a very good bridge from one discipline to another, and also from recreational riding into ranch riding up to reining, or vice versa if needed. And so, how long have you been doing this?
I've been riding since I was really young, and wanted to start training horses. I was very interested in that from an early age, because I think all of us get into this after we have that first connection with the horse, and we feel that, we experience that relationship, and then we just want to continue doing that over and over and over again. And that's what brings us into training and wanting to make this our life passion, or our living. And so, yeah, I've been doing this a while.
Making a living in this industry, or in the horse industry, it's always something that is a challenge. There are ways, to make a good living in this industry, and some very rewarding ways. And but there's a lot of difficult times. I remember when I was in my late teens or early 20s, and I was really liking the marketing aspect of things, creative design and stuff. This was something I was studying and I was really liking, but I was really loving training horses. Yeah. But I was smart enough, I think, at the time to know that it wasn't like an easy way out. Right. To where that I know that I said, if I'm going to choose this as my life path, I want to be one of the best at it. Absolutely. And I really want to make a difference. If not, I would have just taken this other route. And I remember making that decision, and I'm glad that I did, because it's been a very rewarding journey. But throughout the years, I've had seen many assistants, or I've had many assistants come through the barn, and it seems like occasionally this route is taken as a sort of as easy way out, and I feel that from that point on, I can tell who is going to make it in this industry and who isn't. And this is what struck me about you the first time that I met you. So I wasn't. Jacqueline introduced herself to me while I was at a horse show in Tulsa a couple months ago, and right away I really liked her, because the way she was talking about things and seeing this industry was exactly how I approach and see this industry. And so, although we're in two different areas of the industry, we definitely have a common goal, and I found a way to make a decent living in this industry, and are constantly working at it. And one of these things is making YouTube videos. So the videos that we recorded earlier together are a little bit more educational content. They'll be available in the descriptions below, so you can check those out. But how long have you been doing this YouTube thing?
It's been a while. I actually started it because when I did one of the Mustang makeovers, my sponsor specifically approached me, and she said, what I want you to do in return is every 2 weeks I want you to make a video and put it out there. And I was like, shoot, I'll do that. I mean, I was getting paid pretty well on the sponsorship, and I had not a single subscriber. I wasn't worried about that. I didn't care. I was just fulfilling my end of the bargain on that. And over time, got a few more viewers, a little more and a little more, and people really enjoyed following those journeys with the Mustangs. And from that, I've kind of branched away from that a little bit, because Mustangs aren't the main thing I do. I think they're amazing animals, and they've really taught me a lot in my horsemanship journey. But I really wanted to show more of a broader spectrum of what I do, and what we do at Zacharias Horsemanship. My husband Sid and I, we train a lot of ranch riding horses and start a lot of colts in many different disciplines. But that's what we've kind of approached. And then, what about you? How long have you been doing it? When did you get into it? And what made you decide that you were going to do YouTube?
Well, I've always loved making videos and marketing my business, or my sell horses through videos, as something that I've done, pretty early on in my career, and that's been very, it's been very rewarding in many ways, because you put yourself out there with good content. It just really brought me business. And my YouTube channel originally were only my sell horses. Oh, really? This is all that was on there. And then I've had a lot of people reach out to me, you know, or come in and visit me and say, hey, we like your YouTube channel, we like your videos,
Yes.
or whatever. But they were not educational videos. They were just, you know, sell videos. But they said they love how my horses moved, how my horses looked. And then I was thinking, well, maybe I could start to make some videos and explain, you know, how I get the horses to do that. And it took off from there. And if I thought that this was rewarding to my business at that point, then it just, you know, exploded.
Yes.
You know, as my channel grew, and it made me better to live up to what I'm preaching, as well as really got me soul searching a whole lot more, whether it's about the horseman that I, you know, aspire to be, or the horse trainer that I am, and it's just made me better.
Right.
And so this is what feeds the, you know, the desire to continue doing that. And there's also the fact that I'm at now, I think, 9,300 subscriber, and I think that you're at 98.
800, yeah.
So I really want to pass her.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I was telling
So
him.
with your help.
Yeah. No, you better come to my channel if you're gonna subscribe to him. Come here too. But I was joking with him because his content was so good. I called him up as soon as possible. I was like, he's still considered a small YouTuber like me, and I was like, I gotta connect with this guy. I gotta collaborate before he's at 50,000 subscribers, and I'm a nobody, you know. So that's why I got hold of you as quick as possible. I mean, not the only reason, but you know, I wanted to pick your brain on all that stuff, and you do a really great job. You put out some really high quality content, and on that same note, you also have a video membership too. So did you start your video membership with your in-depth training videos? Did you start that before the YouTube channel, or was that afterward where you're like, hey, I could be doing this as a separate educational avenue as well?
Well, I think to have more of a, you know, the video series is more intended to have sort of a curriculum aspect to it, and I want to continue to develop it in a way that, let's say you want to be a horse trainer, and I encourage every one of you with this dream to pursue it. We need more horse people out there, and go for it. But with that said, I think that there's not really anyone measuring the aptitudes of upcoming trainers or trainers that call themselves trainers. And what makes you a trainer, the basic understanding of the horse, the industry, the care, and all that. And you don't need to be a farrier, you don't need to be a veterinarian, you don't need to be a dentist, but you sort of need to be all.
Yes.
Okay? And I want to teach that, and I want to communicate that knowledge that I've learned throughout my career, sometimes the hard way. And if I can help horses out there and people, you know, avoid the hardships I've had to go through, or those situations, are what motivated me to do this online video series. And the YouTube aspect of it is just where I can throw some free content out there, make it entertaining, and just to keep you know, to keep me out there and keep me moving. And there's so many ways and things and ideas that I have, and I just really enjoy this. It's just really fun, and I hope that you guys enjoy watching this. And I think that one of the funniest videos I've seen on YouTube was one that you posted recently, and it's so true. So I will put the link down below. You have to go look at that video. This is really hilarious, but it really strikes a point. Okay, this is really how this is in this industry, and so this video is where, well, explain us a little bit what that video is about.
So it's titled Keyboard Cowboys, and I think we've all run into this. If you are learning and growing, you're going to make mistakes. And what we see most often is the people that haven't made those mistakes love to criticize the people that have. But like I just said, you cannot get to being a great horseman without making those mistakes along the way. It's impossible. It's like trying to be a perfect parent without having kids. Like, it just, so I wanted to kind of joke about that a little bit in a nice way, while still addressing some of the things that all trainers, all riders probably have dealt with at some point in their life if they are growing and learning. So that's what that was inspired by. I was so tired of it. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. And kids, even young kids and people just wanting to have fun, just getting bullied online for the dumbest things. And I was like, this has got to change. So I hope that we can begin to have a little bit more empathy and just be kinder to people in all aspects of the industry, but especially people who are really trying their heart out and learning. And I think that when you look at someone and you evaluate whether they're doing something wrong or not, or should I say, I don't know if it's ever okay to judge somebody for what they're doing, but before you criticize, what you need to look at is if what they're doing and the way they're approaching their training, if at the core of it they have empathy for that horse and they're looking for the best outcome for that horse. Because you're going to go through some rough patches, and you've seen that happen. We've all gone there. But on the other side of that, we know just how much better it's going to be for that horse. It's not about our egos. It's not about getting upset or fixing something for our own gain. If that's your motive, then there might be some allowance for criticism there. But I just try to mind my own business and look at the best for the horse. So
that was very well put. Absolutely. And so with that said, I mean, yes, this is the entertainment, the education. This is just for the greater good of our industry and the well-being of our horses, and so we want to bring people in our industry, and there are many different ways that you can make a living in this industry. So we figured out that making some educational videos and filming ourselves in order to sell our horses better and all of that really just helps grow our business, brings in customers. So I mean, I encourage people to video themselves a lot more often, even if you're not going to be talking. Just film yourself, watch it. If you've got something that looks good, put it online, and just get started that way. And I think that this will go a long way. But also, there's selling horses is also buying and selling horses is also something that for young horse trainers that that maybe are relying on lessons and may not be having the show horses that they would like. But buying and selling horses, is that something that that you get into here and there?
Oh, absolutely. No, we sell some really great ranch type horses, and there's a huge market for them right now. And I will say this, right now is the best time to capitalize on the horse market, because you don't even have to have the most fancy horses. Jonathan here makes some incredible horses, and they're beautiful reiners, and they do all the maneuvers, and then they go do the other stuff on top of that. But even if you don't have the ability to have that kind of a horse or to train it to that level, if you have a horse that can walk down the trail safely, that can pick up a tarp, that can drag things, that can move around the ranch and be an enjoyable ride for someone to relax on, those horses are worth so much right now. So I do think it's something that's great to get involved in. And even grade horses. I mean, the horse market is so good right now, so there's room for everyone within that at every level.
I think that is something that sometimes scares people, but I would say, I mean, don't be scared of it. It's really what I feel, that the horses that you can buy that may not have that value yet are just horses that haven't had that TLC and that time invested in training them, and there is definitely no shortcut as far as how that goes, right? I mean, this is why that we are putting content out there for for everyone to learn from, and I think that between Jacqueline's content and my content and other training content out there, educate yourself, know your craft, and then any horse that you have in your barn right now, just spend as much time as you can to make them better, make them feel good about themselves, and you will see them bloom. They will just react better to everything around them, and this will make them automatically more valuable. And put yourself out there with videos and take the time to make sure your videos are appealing. Okay, use good equipment. It is not overrated to use good equipment. Make sure that it's filmed in a good light to where your horse looks its best. How often in our industry do you see a horse picture where the horse looks like a donkey, or a video that is black, and you see hardly the horse? And we're in 2022, for God's sake.
Yeah, there's a lot of options out there to make it look better.
And I think that it's a very whether you're going to hire somebody or you're going to equip yourself better, depending on on your situation. I think it's a very, very wise investment.
Yeah, it can make such a huge difference in the perceived value of the horse. I know my sister's just kind of starting to get into it, and again, she's on one of those lower brackets selling horses, and she's still making money doing it. She's actually buying a lot of great horses and working with them and riding them around the farm, because my family has a small farm back in Tennessee, and she just spends time with them and gets them seasoned and gets them ready. And recently she started working on the video side of the effort she's been putting in a lot more. And I'm telling you what, I watched one of her videos the other day. I was so impressed. Like, that horse, I was like, hey, do you want to sell it to me now? Like, I was on it. You trained it to that point. I'll take it from there.
Mission accomplished.
Yes, I know. So I was so proud of her. But the video makes a huge difference. You're 100% right on that.
Yeah, and I think that I think that it's just to be smart about it. I think you don't want to be hiding anything, but you want to showcase your horse in the best light. So if you did a lead departure and the horse didn't do it well, or the tail kind of swished or whatever, something wasn't appealing, do it again and again and again until you get you get it right on camera and it looks its best. And this is not going to be anything fake. It's just your horse doing it the best he can, and that's what you're working for. And nothing says that with a little bit more work, this is not going to become something consistent, right?
Yes, exactly.
So don't be afraid to take your time, and if you have to do your video over 2 or 3 days also, there's absolutely no shame in that. And taking a photo, I think you're a photographer, right? And so have you taken a lot of profile pictures, sale
shots? Yep.
I mean, I don't know if it's the same for you, but a lot of the times my wife is a phenomenal photographer.
Yeah.
She's just a great eye, okay? And you don't really understand or see how good she is, or some of the other photographer out there, Tracy, Cam. I mean, there's so many great photographers, Veronica, great photographers, and so. But what I know from Janina, for example, when my wife takes a shot, and then I like to do the editing on the color or whatever. I like to do it sometimes, and so she gives me the card of all of the photos that she got. I remember that the first photo I'll open, I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
that's a nice shot. I could totally ignore all of the rest, go with that, and I think everyone would be none the wiser and super happy.
Right.
But then I go down, and then I see the one. The shot.
Yeah.
And then I look back at the other one, and I look at both of them together, and I'm like, holy crap, the difference.
So obvious, yeah.
The difference. So the money shot is worth the sweat. I mean,
100%.
how long you got to be out there, I don't care if you got to get back out there, but keep shooting until you have the money shot. And what, like 2 feet to the left, 2 feet to the right, up, down, back. I mean, will change your horse's aspect. And this is just really getting your horse's best angle. And believe me, if you look for it, you'll find it. And I see on the internet people finding the absolute worst angle they can possibly find on their horse. And I can't believe that they see this as okay. This should be banned.
Yeah, exactly. I will bring up along those lines one very simple tip to improve everything you're doing, like your photos and your video, right away, is to make sure you're not backlighting anything. A lot of people will take it. This is so easy. Just make sure the direct light you have is shining on the subject from the side you're shooting, not from behind the horse, because I see that all the time. Someone will be videoing the horse and there's really bright sunlight hitting the horse behind or coming through the arena walls or whatever it is. So if you make sure that your direct light is hitting that horse from the side you're videoing, you're going to be golden.
You know, time of day, position, all of these things will all matter tremendously in the end result. And it's micro adjustment. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's all of the details and the attention to details that you put in promoting yourself, promoting your horses and your training and everything that you do, right? This goes a long way when it all adds up. I think that there's this story from the English cycling team. The coach, right? They hired a new coach, and they had not won a medal in forever at the Olympics, and so he made micro changes to their daily routine, such as the pillow they sleep on, just micro adjustments. But in the end, they ended up winning a medal.
Exactly.
And this is a great lesson. And so this really goes a long way. And I think that it's not only in our industry, but definitely in the horse industry. You want to stand out. You have to pay attention to all of those details.
100%. It's that 1% concept. If you put 1% more, that was what the story was about, is putting 1% more in every area, because think about how many facets there are to our industry and what we do when we sell a horse. So if you put that 1% of effort in, that makes you that much better than everyone else. You'll have a very large percentage once you cover all your bases. But a little bit of effort goes a long ways. So you're 100% right about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, anyways, yeah, I think that we're, you know, for a minute there, I was a little bit concerned that the horse industry was a little bit of a dying thing, you know, with technology and how fast our world is changing. But thanks to Taylor Sheridan and Yellowstone and his involvement in the cutting industry, the rodeo, the reining, the cow horse, and all of that. I mean, it's just really putting the cowboy way back on the map.
Exactly.
And
it's putting us in the spotlight.
yeah, it's putting us in the spotlight.
Yeah.
So I think that's attracting a lot of people in the horse industry. So it's a good time to be in this industry. So you know, so yeah, take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Great advice all the way around.
Yeah.
I don't know what more to add to that. I think you're spot on there.
Well, I think that I really enjoyed having you and visiting with you today. I enjoyed riding with you today. I want to do it again sometime.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to have to come back out. I'm going to have to keep putting those videos out so you don't pass me out. But it's going to happen. I know it. I'm dreading it. I got to go home and I'm going to be editing tonight in the middle of the night.
I can't wait.
Espresso shots back. So
I don't know. Like after all of this filming, now I feel like the adrenaline's still up. But as soon as we're going to turn off the camera, I think we're all going to go like...
So the filming part is the fun part.
Yeah.
And we get to get on the horses and we get to shoot, and we're not the actual one behind the computer. And then when you actually have to, the rubber meets the road and you got to put it all out and make something.
Correct.
Then you realize, you know, how dedicated you actually are or aren't.
Exactly. Be dedicated, my friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, it was really nice. Thanks, you guys. If you guys watched all the way to the end and found value in this video, please give it a like. And until the next one, cheers, guys.